Hi, my name is Alejandra Riveros, and I'm going to talk about this technical report called Unlocking Nature-Based Solutions in Colombia. The source of this research is Climate Focus and the Food and Land Use Coalition called FOLU. So, this report explores the mitigation potential of NBS, nature-based solutions, in Colombia and how carbon markets can support the increase of NBS for climate change adaptation. In the following slides, I will explain briefly the importance of these topics for our lives in cities. So, what are NBS or nature-based solutions? Um, so Nature-based solutions are tools to improve the environmental performance of cities in and also rural areas. They are called NBS because they are designed following the principles that we found in nature. So, for example, the artificial wetlands are NBS that mimics the natural wetlands, such as the one that we have in Bogota, and that help us to clean our water. And why NBS are important for cities? NBS are an effective and also low cost strategy to adapt our cities to the impact of climate change. They're able to capture greenhouse gas emissions and reduce the average temperature. Also, provide an alternative source of water for our cities. So, this report also explores the mitigation potential of NBS. In other words, how much can NBS reduce the greenhouse gases emissions, which are the main source of the increase of global temperature that produce alterations in our climate patterns, such as the disaster that we saw on Valencia, Spain, where in one day a year worth of rain fell in some areas, as we can see in these photographs. So, the report also evaluated the role that carbon markets may play in Colombia to unlock MBS adoption in cities. A carbon market is a strategy to finance the implementation of mitigation and adaptation measures in countries. So, they function in a similar way as common bond markets, and they are supported by the natural area protected that can capture a specific amount of greenhouse gases. So let's analyze this graphic. Figure 2 is a line graphic showing the carbon market's mitigation potential for NBS measures in Colombia for three different price scenarios. We have a high scenario, a medium scenario, and a low scenario. They are talking about price scenarios. Um, okay, so the y-axis shows the mitigation potential in megatons of CO2. This graphic shows that from 2002, here, there was a very low carbon market supply till, let's say, 2017, with a few peaks in here between 2012. And that starting at 2022, the carbon market's potential increased in an exponential way, according to the modeling of the study. They are also giving us this projection line. And so let's say that the high scenario, this one, shows the largest mitigation potential in an accelerated rate until, let's say, here, 2025 maybe, and then stabilize growth until 2047. So, what does this text add to the body of knowledge? So, the study addresses the important knowledge gaps. So, one is the potential mitigation supply from carbon markets in Colombia, covering a wide range of NBS solution, is unknown. And the second, there is a lack of specialty, explicit information on where the mitigation potential for different NBS activities can be found. So, therefore, the study modeled this mitigation potential, and also they mapped the spatial location of where the NBS in Colombia are located. And we have an example here. They we're using GIS, which is geospatial information systems. So, for example, here for this topic, afforestation and reforestation, they are located in green areas that are able for AR activities. So, here, what is missing? Is this a problem? Um, in my opinion, the report could be better supported by the inclusion of examples of MBS solutions in Colombia, and what are the main barriers in their practical implementation in public spaces in cities to reduce vulnerability to different risks such as flooding and drought. In the following image, we can see some example of the potential of these solutions. So we have one of a city scale and the other is a building scale. So we have two different scales of approach that we can use. The first one, in the city, we have crop diversification, forest and flood planning, restoration, naturalization of the riverbanks, increasing green spaces, and so on. And in the building scale, we have green roof, the different type of green roof, and gray water recycling, and so other examples that are going to help us to better understand the problem, and also they are giving us a solution and what it looks like if we implement that solution in our cities. In conclusion, the report is a valuable resource to understand the impact of carbon markets and the adoption of MBS in cities, which is especially important due to the lack of financing of these kinds of measures to adapt our cities to the challenges of climate change. Thank you.